Hello, hello. Oh yeah, you're right. Hello, hello.
Good?
Hold on. Now it's speaking up. Hello.
Oh gosh.
Hello, hello, hello. Cool.
Yeah. Carlos here from Ultimate Guitar, sitting with the nice, awesome person, Chris Poland, who has invited us to his studio, rehearsal studio. And he's just here to talk to us about his rig, tone, guitar practice, and just life opinions. What's up, Chris?
How you doing, Carlos?
Pretty good, man.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having us here. Hey, so what do you think of kids learning music off the internet rather than using ear training, how it used to be back in the day?
Well, I'm sure everybody does both. I mean, everybody sits down, like when you first play guitar, everybody goes. And everybody can do that by ear, with smoke on the water. But it's funny you asked me that because Nick wanted me to learn Holy Wars. And so I had my iPad, and I went on, I just put Holy Wars, and there was Dave Mustaine showing me how to play it. Like verbatim, even all the little tricks, like. So I thought it was pretty cool. So I think if you're gonna be a good guitar player, it's gonna happen whether the internet's there or not.
Yeah.
It's just another tool.
Do you use the internet to learn songs often, or was that just like one of the first times?
No, that's the first time I ever did that.
Cool. Were you learning any other Megadeth songs?
Yeah, I was learning Wake Up Dead and Peace Cells.
Nice.
And can't remember what the other one was.
You still practice those often, or not?
No,
at all?
I haven't played those in years.
How does it feel to play them after so long?
Oh, they're hard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Even after the the skills you've gotten throughout the time, it's still,
I was hoping
challenging.
for muscle memory on the Peace Cell stuff, and I think it's coming back. I can start to feel like how I used to do it. But me and Nick and James are gonna set up in my studio this weekend and start banging out stuff.
Some old songs.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you guys do you guys have a goal for like any specific songs just to cover?
Not really. We're just doing. We want to do we each want to do a Megadeth song from our era. Yeah. So we're just learning a bunch to see which ones sound the best, and
cool.
Just taking it from there. We're gonna, we're writing material too. What we're getting ready for our clinics that we have coming up. Between that and I'm glad that they're coming here because we can record everything and really get our ideas straightened out.
Yeah. Is there any live performances in the future coming along, like this year, next year?
Yeah, I think our first clinic's here in LA somewhere. I just don't know where yet.
Do you know the date at all or no?
March 15th.
March 15th.
I just don't know where.
Is it open to everybody or?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll have to check that out. How's the band thing going with Nick and James, right?
Oh yeah, it's still in the beginning stages, but I've written a bunch of tunes. Nick's got some songs. James has always got ideas, and like I said, this is where it's going to start. So
I was talking to you a couple weeks back at NAMM, and you were saying how it feels like you're playing with Gar when you're playing with Nick.
Yeah, every once in a while Nick just goes into Gar mode, and it's like holy cow, man.
Gar mode.
Yeah, it just sounds just like Gar. And he told me for 10 years he was playing all those things, and eventually he just got the whole vibe of it. And so now at the drop of a hat, especially stuff that's like 3/4, man, he nails it. So
all those odd time signatures.
Well, Gar was really into Tony Williams and guys like crazy drummers like Alphonse Mouzon and Lenny White and Billy Cobham, and so Gar had a tendency to go way well over the one, and then come in, So Nick does that too, and I noticed it when we were practicing at his house. So yeah, he's got the same vocabulary.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I really can't wait to hear that. Because Gar's like one of my favorite drummers for sure, especially in the Megadeth lineup. He was probably the best, if not like Menza right there along with him. So
yeah, no, I think you're exactly right.
So that's gonna be really
Definitely
interesting
the
to
two
hear.
best drummers.
Yeah. Are you guys going for any type of style, or are you guys just kind of exploring your options?
Yeah, just gonna see what happens. I think it's best to get a band in a room together. Even if somebody has written a whole song out, it's best to have everybody, throw their 2 cents in for arrangement ideas and, just assess it out and see if it even works. Sometimes you write a song and when you play it, you're like, yeah, no, it's not working.
Yeah.
So
it's better to have a bunch of people to define the sound, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then once you start doing that, like with Ohm, I don't even have to say anything. I just show them the idea and they take it from there. And it's like, after that, so many years of playing together,
Yeah.
it's like unspoken.
Robbie's pretty amazing at bass.
Oh, yeah.
From what I've seen.
Yeah.
He's crazy. I just found out that he played with you like way back in the day with Gar Samuelson before you joined Megadeth.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we had a fusion band called the New Yorkers, and Gar's brother was really good at writing charts, and he played guitar also. He was kind of like a like McLaughlin meets Larry
Nice.
Coryell kind of player, like really strict picking.
Yeah.
And like made Al Di Meola look sloppy.
Really?
But
we were just talking about him.
he had great ideas and just a totally different guitarist. Like not. He didn't sound like McLaughlin or Coryell or anybody, but he had his own thing. But he was of that caliber of playing.
Would you say you got some influence from him?
Oh yeah, we were in a band forever.
Yeah.
He would write all the horn charts out because we used to have a horn section.
Oh, cool.
It was kind of like Mahavishnu Orchestra when they had a horn section.
Oh, cool. So kind of like a big band.
Yeah, I'm
jazz
actually
fusion.
getting a couple CDs. My manager's sending me some that Gail, Gar's wife, found and sent to him, and he had them kind of mastered.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm supposed to get those this week, so I can't wait to hear those.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna release them at all, or are you just
If
for
they
personal
sound good,
use?
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Nice. So, tell me a little bit about your guitar practice. Do you practice a lot of guitar throughout
Yeah,
your
I
days?
come, like I do my thing around the, building. I run a couple hundred studios. That's my job during the week. And I have a studio with a control room and a tracking room. And so after I get all my work done, I'll come in my room and, whatever I feel like I need to work on, I work on. Mostly it's, trying to get song ideas or try a different way to, do my guitar rig to try and find a different sound. But whatever it is, it's always time consuming.
Yeah, I bet. How do you approach getting your tones? Because you have really unique sounds.
It's so many things, man. It's like even just your guitar strings. Like I use Ernie Ball guitar strings, and I can't use any other strings. And everybody says, oh, there's only 3 string companies that make strings, and I'm like, well then they're making them all different because unless I'm using Ernie Ball strings, I don't even like the way a guitar sounds.
Really?
Yeah. So it's every little thing. Like you adjust your truss rod, and all of a sudden you're like, that's it. That's sometimes if you have no relief on your neck, your action's nice and low, but you're not getting any tone.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you bring your neck forward a little bit and then lower your action at the bridge, all of a sudden you start to feel like, yeah, when I dig in, I'm getting more tone now. And like guitar chords everything makes a difference. Every little thing makes a difference.
Do you adjust your own guitars?
I try to, and when I get frustrated, like I have to go to Schecter when we're done. Because I just gave up. I couldn't get it to do what I wanted, so I gave it to Shigeki over at Schecter, and he's like maybe in the top 5 guys on earth as far as like
Checking.
guitar guys. Yeah.
Cool.
And,
Is it that particular guitar? Or
it's not this. It's the same model. It's the Sunburst one, or the clear finish front one, and it played great and everything, but it just had some little things that were wrong with it. And like he grabbed an arm and pulled it, totally straight up, and he said he noticed that he can see the nut just slightly moving.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's because this one's a maple neck and that other one's a mahogany neck,
Mm-hmm.
and he thinks that he might have to actually go through and bolt that thing in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
it might be a pretty
that's
long
that's
process.
old school
Yeah.
Floyd, where you go right through the back of the headstock.
Mm-hmm.
And on a maple neck, when you screw it down like this, where it's not coming through the back, the wood's strong enough to hold it in place. So
What's that guitar made out of?
I have maple neck, mahogany body, maple top, and it's got it comes stock with all stainless steel parts, so it won't rust out on you. And then it's got John Gadesi pickups in it. They're hand wound, and I was using John Sir pickups, and as soon as I heard these, I
Switch them over.
well, I didn't have to because they were already in this guitar.
Oh, okay.
So, but it comes with Grover heads, even though it locks down. But it's still good to have those because the weight of the tuner actually adds some tone to the guitar. And then I was hoping these would come stock. I use a piece of granite instead of a metal.
A piece of granite?
Yeah, it's a piece of granite. It's called Stone Tone. And I thought the same thing, you know, when the guy I met him a couple years ago at NAMM, Rob from Stone Tone, and he goes, "No, dude, you put this granite where your metal block goes on the back of your Floyd, and you'll hear the difference." And I was like, you know what? And I'm totally, you know, I'm that guy that's going to come in here and actually take his guitar apart and put it on there. So anyway, when I put it on, I was blown away. And honestly, it's like when you put a new set of strings on a guitar with one of those on the bridge. It's like you can feel the note like coming right off your finger.
Really?
Yeah, it's got a lot of tone to it, I guess. And I was using big brass blocks, and I was trying everything, and I got that. And
Granite worked the best for
yeah,
you then, right?
yeah, because you know I'm a legato guy, and the granite just is humming all the time.
Cool.
You know, it's got a different way of resonating than steel does.
That's like the first time
brass.
I've heard somebody put like a piece of rock in their guitar, so that's pretty cool.
Well, it's kind of expensive because it's hard to machine out, and it's hard to find a piece of granite that's not going to fall apart when you put that pressure on it. So they're like $140 a block, but you know the titanium ones are $200 a block or something. So it's like, you know, same difference, you know.
You experiment a lot on your guitars as far as like tone goes?
Yeah, like sometimes I'll get a wild hair and I'll take the bridge pickup out and I'll pop the screws out and I'll screw it right into the body, and I'll put stuff under it so I can get it really tight against the body. I like the way it sounds, but it also kind of takes away from other things. It's great for soloing, but it kind of tells on itself when you play clean stuff. It kind of sounds a little bit I don't know, dead, I guess.
Oh, it like mutes the sound.
Yeah, it kind of does
too
something
fast.
to it. Like I said, everything changes. One little thing will change a lot.
So you have like different procedures for different guitars then, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of.
How many guitars do you own, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I have a whole pile of Schecters over there, but I'm a one guitar guy.
Yeah.
You know, like once I find that one guitar, I might play that guitar for 10 years. So.
Is that how you feel about Schecter? Like.
Yeah, that actually the guitar he's got would be my main guitar, and this one is becoming a really close second. So, but it's awesome, man. It's got a really good radius. It's got a 12 to 16 radius, and they're like a 6100, but they're a little bit thinner this way, but just as tall. So the intonation is actually better on it. And because the fret's a little bit thinner this way, when you do your vibratos like this, it really like makes a difference. I can make it go down a whole step. You know?
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, I could hear that.
Yeah. So, well, a half step anyway.
What guitars were you using before Schecter?
I was using Yamaha for about 10 years, but I had some really special guitars.
Do you still own those?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I just put them away.
Would you call yourself a guitar collector? Like,
No, not at all.
No.
No, I'm not one of those guys that plays vintage guitars or anything.
So tell us a little bit about your rig as far as your amplifiers and the types of pedals that you use.
I started using those old PV Classic 120 power amps. I got a really good deal on one that was never used. Still had the price tag on it. Had no dust in it. Whoever bought it, it was too heavy for them to walk around and use. So I had Stretch over at GTR Valley Sound do a mod for me so I can bias tubes that I put in it. And I was using the L34s in it, and I was pretty happy. But I had to play it too loud to get it to sound good. So I put 5881s in it, and I brought it down about 20 watts, and now I'm super happy, man. Because I used to have a Marshall that had the 5881s in it, a 9200, and I liked it, but there was something about it that I didn't like, and I think the different size of the PVs are way overbuilt. The transformers are way too, way huge, and everything's just like military grade. And I think that made a difference in the headroom of it. Like I'm getting really good headroom.
Those things are big, like those heads.
Yeah, they're like 65 pounds without a case.
Damn.
So anyway, I bought a backup, and I'm using an old Egnator IE4, a red face one. I really like that, but since I started playing with Nick, I broke out this old Hafler T3. It's a little single space 3-channel preamp, and that's the Megadeth,
That's the Megadeth sound.
Yeah, pretty much. It's my sound that if I was playing that kind of music, it works for me.
Did you used to use that back in the day?
No, I actually bought them a couple years ago on a whim. And when I first got it, I didn't like it, but then I retubed it about 5 times checked out all my tubes, and I kept putting new tubes in, or different tubes. And then I found these Chinese tubes that when I put it in, those
blew you away.
Yeah, it really is really a good preamp. So I have a way in my system where I can use both preamps, and everything else is just Bradshaw stuff that switches effects in and out. But that's the core of the amp is the Egnator preamp and the power amp.
What about your pedals?
Well, actually, the Eminence speakers actually made a big difference. I was using Celestion for years, and
and you switched over.
Yeah, I switched over because there's something about the top end on a Celestion that just you can't tame it unless you're so loud that the speaker's like sagging. And with Eminence, I can use 100 watts per side with 2 12s, and they're each 150 watt speaker, and they won't cave in for really, really loud, clean stuff. But as soon as you go to distortion, the top end is really like, I guess the word is forgiving. You don't have that thing where you're like, where even your drummer's like, God, that sounds...
Turn it down.
Yeah, that's really bright, And, and I know I'm a dark, like, I like dark tones and everything, but there's something about those speakers. The same thing I feel about Ernie Ball strings is the way I feel about Eminence speakers. It's like, if I have a choice, that's what I'll play through,
Yeah. Do you prefer any types of pedals, like as far as like chorus or?
Yeah, like if I'm using a Univibe, I've tried them all, and I think it's called a DK or something. There's a DK Vibe. It's like a $600 pedal. It's a great Univibe, but the full tone Univibe, the Deja Vibe, I think is the best one for me, because when I'm doing fast stuff on it, it comes right along with me, where the other ones kind of don't seem
instant.
Yeah, something like that. And then what else am I using? Oh, I really like the TC Electronics Schecter. It's like a vibrato pedal. It's like a wobble pedal. I use that a lot. And then that's about it. I mean, the other stuff is there. It's fun to use, but I don't have it on all the time.
You don't use it
Yeah.
often. Do you experiment a lot with your sound when you're recording, or do you usually go in?
If I have
already?
to, we'll go in. If we're trying to make an effect, I'll go in the rack and like make up something.
Try to find it.
Yeah, and try and find it.
Yeah. Cool. So what's up with? I already asked you about the project, but are you guys looking for any type of what's the word? I guess I don't want to say sound because I already asked you that, but
You know what? It's going to be heavy, and it's going to be intense, and it's going to be Nick drumming. So, just think. I don't know. Like, we're not going to sound like Megadeth, but there's going to be aspects of that kind of energy. But we also don't want to get pigeonholed into being like a
Megadeth
metal,
cover
just
band.
just a metal band, because there's so much more that we want to do. But there's a lot going on. Like Nick talks to Max Norman a lot, and Max is gonna like kind of slap us into shape. We're gonna send him our arrangements, and then he's going to text back like, you know, he's either going to make fun of us or you know, or say, well, you know, maybe try this or that, which I think is a godsend because
He's being a good friend.
yeah, no, he's a genius producer, so.
So you'll trust his opinion.
Yeah, yeah, and just the fact that, you know, Nick can ask him to do that is a huge plus.
How'd you guys get James in on the project?
Actually, Nick called James first, and then they talked about it, and they thought, you know, let's call Chris.
And you were down for it?
At the time, I wasn't, because I'm having trouble with my thumb. I got trigger thumb, but I'm working my way around it. I went to the doctor, and he's giving me some stuff to put on it.
Oh, that's good.
But it's not getting better, so eventually I'm probably going to have to get, you know...
Maybe a chiropractor?
That's what I'm going to try first, and then if that doesn't work, I'll just have somebody do, you know, cut it, whatever they have to do to it.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, but I hear about it all the time, and everybody says, you know, 2 weeks later you're playing guitar again, so...
Has it been affecting you at all? Because I know you've had a lot of shows with them in the last couple months at the Baked Potato.
Yeah, I was at the Baked Potato, and I did something to my thumb, and it just totally locked up, and I couldn't use this, you know, tendon to unlock it, so I had to take my other hand and, like, snap it back.
Ooh.
You know, whatever was going on in that O-ring in there, and my tendon was swollen, and it was 5 minutes before we went on stage, so I was all vibed out.
I'm pretty sure you still shredded.
It's something that, you know, it only affects me about maybe a quarter of all the things we do. I'll feel it while I'm doing stuff, but it's when I'm trying to go, like, I can't bend my finger back, so I'm trying to get it to do that, and it takes about 20 minutes of playing for it to loosen up where it will bend back.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, though, like, if we're doing 2 sets, if I don't do something in between and keep it moving, it freezes back up, and then it takes
and then you have to
another
warm up again.
Yeah, and then it's got to warm up again. So I got to do something about it.
Well, I hope that gets better.
Well, anyway, when they first asked me, I was kind of like, you know, I don't know if I can do it right now because my thumb's messed up. And then I thought, what the hell, you know, I'm just gonna try and do it. So.
Are you happy that you made that decision?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not happy I have to move that piano in a minute.
How long have you guys been rehearsing so far?
I think maybe we've gotten together like 3 or 4 times. I've gotten together with Nick a lot, you know, just talking, trying to figure out like a vocalist. James is singing right now for the clinics, but we want to put together a bona fide band. So.
Are you guys old friends, you and Nick?
We're not old friends, but I mean, I've known Nick for a long time, and when I did the demos for Rust in Peace, Nick was trying to convince Dave to get me, you know, to join the band, and so at least I know that Nick was like, you know, into my playing even back then, you know. Well, no, it's great. You know, playing with Nick is great, and James, and I think it's going to be something special.
We really look forward to hearing that, and I'm pretty sure I speak for the entire guitar community.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Chris, for your amount of time.
Cool.
And for
Thanks,
inviting
Carlos.
us.
Thanks for coming down.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.